Amaryllis is a fabulous plant. Long stalks that come up with a trumpet or a lily-shaped flower. And a bulb that is this big will send up at least 3 shoots out of the top. And each one of those shoots will have 4 big fat blossoms on it. So it makes a wonderful display for indoors during the cold winter days. The bulbs are grown in Holland, and they are not dug up until after all the tulips, all the daffodils, everything else that they grow has been retrieved. And they dig these up about the end of August. By the time they clean them up, let them dry, get them packed, and shipped to the United States, it's about mid-October when we get them. It takes either 10 to 12 weeks for this to come into bloom. You can buy several bulbs and plant them in succession so that you have something blooming all the time. Or you can plant 2 or 3 in a large pot and have one magnificent statement on your fireplace hearth. Don't turn the fireplace on when it's sitting there. But they're really nice to have in the winter, because you look at those flowers and you think, yes, spring really will come. We're not going to have sleet all winter. Spring is on the way. Now, I would suggest that you buy your bulb online from a very reputable nursery that imports these directly from Holland. And when you're buying a bulb, since you will be doing it sight unseen, it is really good to know what size bulb it is. You have seen many ads, I'm sure, where they say top-sized bulbs. What the heck does that mean? That just means they've got a bulb. We don't know what top size is. You want to buy one that has a measurement so that you know exactly what you're getting. We are a little bad about ordering things online, and then when it comes, we're disappointed. But bulbs are sized in circumference, and an amaryllis bulb should be somewhere around 32 to 34 centimeters in circumference. And of course it's centimeters because they come from Europe. I'll show you a tulip bulb also in contrast to this. So as you can see the difference between them, that's why I say bigger is always better. The bigger the bulb, the bigger the display. The more reserve energy that this bulb has, it's right here in the bulb. Kind of a gnarly looking thing to produce so much beauty. The amaryllis, after it finishes blooming, don't cut the leaves off, because the leaves are what helps the bulb store up the energy for the next season's bulb. You can put this bulb outside in its pot in the spring after you've cut all the stems off, but leave the leaves on and move it to a place where it will get some sun, not enough sun for it to sunburn, but for it to grow and the leaves to thrive during the summer. And then, along about the end of August, You take that, cut all the leaves off, store the bulb in a cool dark space like a garage or a basement, and then drag it out again and restart it when October, November come around again. I get asked all the time, how can you tell what's up? Which end is supposed to be up on a bulb? Well, on this one, you can pretty well tell because it has all these roots coming out the bottom. But on something like a tulip bulb, it doesn't have any roots, but it's got a nice pointy little top. On smaller bulbs, even smaller than this, sometimes it is very difficult to tell which is up. The pointy top's supposed to go up, and you can see where the roots will come out on this tulip bulb. However, it makes no difference. It's really kind of a moot question because the bulbs have enough sense to know what's up and what's down. Even if you plant this Amaryllis bulb on its side, the roots will go down because of gravity, and the top will come out to catch the sunlight. That phenomenon is known as geotropism. And it doesn't matter if you put this upside down, sideways, or whatever. Now, it'll struggle a little less if you put the pointy top up. Most all of bulbs are somewhat teardrop shaped. So, it's just the way it goes. Now, I'm going to plant this bulb in a pot that has a good drainage hole. And I like using terracotta pots. One reason is they hold moisture. They get damp themselves and hold a little moisture in. Because I don't want my soil to escape from the bottom of the pot through this drainage hole, I'm going to put something over the hole to help maintain the soil in its proper place. Our grandmothers used what they had, which was rocks, pieces of broken pot, or most anything else they could find. I like using screen wire. You can buy this at a big box store or hardware store. This one that I happen to have is made of fiberglass, and I like that because it doesn't degrade, and also you can cut it or trim it with the scissors. It's just like cutting paper. It's very, very easy to work with, and it does a good job of holding the soil in. So I'm going to lay this down in here over that hole, and then we're going to put a little bit of our soil in there. And see this soil? See those white spots in there? That is vermiculite, and vermiculite helps to make the soil very loose. It retains water and also makes the soil very porous. You know, plants need a lot of the same thing that people need. They need sunlight, they need oxygen for their roots to grow, and they need water. So it's going to be up to you to supply all of those elements for your bulb or for any of the plants that you're planting. I'm going to put just a little bit more soil in here. This is soil, not dirt. Dirt's what you get on your clothes. Soil is what you plant plants in. And we're going to take our humongous bulb, we're going to nestle it down in this soil. I'm going to stake this bulb. When this stalk comes up and it has 2 to 4 big blossoms on it, it's going to be heavy. The stems on an amaryllis are hollow, and the stems have a hard time holding up the weight of those flowers. And it's particularly if you have 2, 3, or 4 stems coming out, That is quite a bit of weight. That's another reason for using a terracotta pot or something heavy to help stabilize this so it doesn't tump over. You don't want this falling over, getting soil all over your floor. If you want something that will literally knock their socks off, then you want a big bulb. Bigger is always better. Now, I'm just going to stick this stake down in here, and I'm going to put some more soil around to try to hold this in place. And by doing it this way, when I pot it, I'm sure I'm not jamming the stake down there later and destroying some roots. I'm not going to put too much soil in here, and you're going to think that I'm not putting enough. But I'm going to leave half or 1/3 of the top of this bulb exposed. They don't need any more soil than that. And one reason for doing this is it helps you with the watering around the perimeter, around the edge. That'll get the roots. The roots are what needs the water because they take up the water to help store the energy into the bulb. Now, when you get through, you're going to set this in a place that you pass by frequently in your house so that you can remember to feel this, just feel the top of the soil and decide, does that feel dry? When it feels dry to you, then's when you need water. I would not just set up a schedule for myself like every 3 days I have to water this thing. You want to feel of it so that you know that it is dry. A good way to do this is to take it off the saucer, take it to the sink, set it down in the sink, pour water. Don't hit that faucet for your water because for sure you're going to get some down inside the bulb. You can't hardly avoid it. But take a little pitcher or something and pour water around the perimeter of the container so that the water gets to the root system but not inside the bulb. And then take the saucer and set it where you wish. Some people like to put their amaryllis in a bigger pot. Put it pot, saucer, and all. And as you can see, this big pot has a drainage hole in it too. So if you overwater this and it flows over the saucer, you have a mess on your furniture. So put the saucer over this, put this in here, being careful not to overwater. And then, if you don't like the looks of this, if you don't like looking at the soil, you can put moss, reindeer moss, peat moss, Spanish moss, something like that over the top of it. And then, when this stalk starts coming out, you're going to want to fasten it to this stake. Ribbon works, wire work, floral wire works. I like using raffia because I think it goes with the rest of this. And I'm going to warn you that you may have to put another stake in this. When I I think I can't emphasize this too much. Those blossoms are going to be heavy. And this thing is going to be tipsy. So you want to be sure you've got it in a secure, stable place where it's not going to be accidentally knocked over. And you don't want to get up one morning and find it in the floor. So stake it well. Keep it watered well when the soil is dry, and your amaryllis will reward you with some fabulous blossoms.